Hey everyone, you're watching Kickback and Chat with Amber Pickens. I hope you all are continuing to stay safe and uplifted during these times. Today I have the pleasure of chatting with one of my favorite artists. I've been watching him dance since my freshman year in high school. He is an amazing dancer, choreographer, creator, and now the Associate Artistic Director of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, Mr. Matthew Rushing.
Hey. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been so long. How have you been doing during this lockdown?
Good. I've been hanging in there. Some days are better than others, but for the most part, trying to take kind of opportunity of having, downtime. So, yeah, it's been up and down, but for the most part, good.
Okay, that's good. I know that you're one of the busiest people in the industry. So I was like, this would be a good time to talk about resting, but also staying active. And also congratulations on now being the Associate Artistic Director of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. I'm so excited for you.
No, thank you so much. It's interesting because I officially stepped into the role at the beginning of our U.S. tour, which is like the beginning of February. So I only had like maybe 2 months to be in the role before all this hit.
Wow.
So it's been kind of like, it's been jarring in the sense, but I think it was overwhelming also starting in February in this new role. So I'm kind of taking this as a vacation and kind of allowing myself to reset. But it's overwhelming, but it's like my wildest dreams, my worst nightmare. I mean, it's just everything, everything together. Yeah.
Oh, that's really amazing that you're viewing it as a time to reset. I've been saying that a lot. I've been trying to look at it as a time to reset and refocus and trying to find the beauty in it and not to not be down every day, because it definitely can, like you were saying, it definitely has been jarring for a lot of us, and especially artists that are so busy, and especially in New York City when we're so used to running around so much.
Yeah, so true.
What does it mean for you to now be the Associate Artistic Director? I mean, you've had such an amazing career and amazing artistic journey. You started off in the Ailey company, second company as a student, people can still say, which is so special, but as a student in the second company and the first company, rehearsal director. I mean, you have been there for so long. You've seen all the changes and been a part of such a huge platform that has created so many opportunities for so many of us.
I got into the company 2 years after he passed, but that speaks to how important this role is currently. There's something I remember, it was always heavy on me, the fact that I never got a chance to meet with him or work with him. And then it was at a moment in my career where I realized that one of the best ways to get to know an artist is to dance their work, to play their music. So I felt like through my career, I was able to get to know Mr. Ailey on a very intimate level. And that part that I got to know, even starting from the school to Ailey 2 into the first company, the biggest thing that I took away from it was identification. I felt that this man's blood memory, which is the phrase that he coined to describe basically a description of his experiences growing up in the South. And he said he based a lot of his ballets on his blood memories. To hear and learn and dance his blood memories and to feel how closely related they are to my own, it made me, I often tell people that the Ailey Company is part of my DNA. It's part of who I am. It's not all that I am, but it's Mr. Ailey's blood runs through my blood. And so when you get an opportunity to not only be a part of an organization that you love and admire, but then when you step into the role of being responsible for continuing the legacy, in a sense, overwhelming. You feel the weight of the responsibility. You feel the joy of new seeds of Mr. Ailey sprouting up because of the work that you've shared with them, because the work that you've received from people who come before you and you've passed that work on. So like all those things, like I was even speaking with my team, Ronnie Favors, who's the rehearsal director, and Clifton Brown. the
Yeah.
assistant to rehearsal director, we were sitting down watching the performance, and I was like, you guys, like, we are part of the team that's responsible for upholding Revelations. Like,
Exactly.
that's huge.
Hmm.
That's huge. So it's all those things. It's part of who I am. It's part of the people who came before me, and it's part of the future.
Hmm. Oh, that's so, so, so incredible. And I talk about this all the time. I see it even when you're on the stage and even as you're serving as a leader, and you have such a humble spirit, and you've been in the industry for so long. So what keeps you going? Not just, really physically as well, because a lot of dance may not last a decade. So would you say that's what keeps you going? Because you are a leader, you have all these leading responsibilities, but you still are such an amazing performer. And for me, it's like you get better and better and better. You continue evolving every year. So would you say that's what keeps you going?
Yeah, it's the connection to the company. I'm beyond passionate about the company. So it was never like people would often ask me, did I ever consider leaving,
Mm.
or have I ever considered another company? And I always tell them no. I did put all my eggs in one basket. I had some rough times in the company. I mean, I literally grew up in the company, so I'm changing emotionally as a man. So of course I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna be distracted in certain senses, and things are gonna change as far as my perspective. But for the most part, I knew this is exactly where I needed to be, and that was grounding. Like, I know that's not everybody's path. Some people are more versatile and they're able to switch over from Broadway to concert to commercial, and that is their passion. And so I guess what it's found in is like being able to say, okay, this is me. This is what inspires me. This is what motivates me, knowing that for the most part, I have a single path within the Ailey organization. And once I realized that, that was grounding. That okay, now I kind of have a path kind of etched out. I'm not sure, how it's going to evolve as I go further down the path, but at least I know it's pretty singular. It's Ailey. And the fact that I knew that it was like that focused gaze, it kind of helped me be a little bit, yeah, I didn't veer that much. So it was easy to kind
Focus.
of just
Always remind you why
say,
you're there.
say it again.
I said something to always remind you why you're there and keep you on track.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you've performed hundreds of pieces while you've been there. What has been your favorite?
uh, I It's so hard for me to say one favorite. How about this? I'll do one. I'm not going to talk about Revelations because Revelations is beyond a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
At times, it has been a life source for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to put that in a favorite ballet. I often say love songs that was choreographed originally for Dudley Williams.
Yeah.
And then another work that one of my favorites is Rainbow Around My Shoulder
Yeah.
by Mr. McHale, the late Donald McHale. I kind of like those old school pieces because I'm a storyteller when it comes to choreography, and I was introduced to Mr. Ailey through the lens of dance theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of cling to those storytellers and those story ballets.
Yes, and I see it so much in your piece, in your repertoire for Odetta. I love that so, so much. I'll never forget when it first came out, and especially the duet when they say it's a hole in the bucket. I love that so much. Remember, I was like begging for you to come to for some dancers to come to perform for the MLK celebration at Juilliard. I was like, we have to have this duet at Juilliard.
I remember that. I remember. And
Yeah.
you know what's so funny? I think that younger generations aren't interested in that kind of dance. I feel like sometimes it can come off as dated, but I guess it speaks to younger generations same way it spoke to me. But sometimes I'm kind of like, really, you like that?
Yeah, I definitely, and I guess it's all about everyone's upbringing, and not just the
Yeah.
upbringing, but what people are learning throughout their journeys, like how they're connecting their dots. Like for me, I feel very blessed because I first saw you perform freshman year in high school, and right when I saw you perform, and it was such a sad day, we had lost a student, and you performed a song for you, that solo, and it just like the light bulb went off. I was like, this is the type of artist I want to be. I want to know everything about this artist. I want to know about the Ailey company, because that's the type of story I want to tell. And I feel like to be able to tell those stories on stage, you have to know the history and the connections. Like you were saying earlier, we have to know what our responsibilities are as an artist every time we touch that stage, and just walking down the street and how we connect with everybody else. So seeing that piece was definitely another life-changing piece. But that's how I feel about almost every piece I see with the Ailey company. I mean, I never get tired of Revelations.
Oh, thank you.
When people talk about going to see Nutcracker, I'm like, that's how I feel. You know, it's like that theme that every company has. And for so many of us, it's like we see ourselves when we see that piece on stage.
Yes.
Yes. And one last question. What does the arts mean to you?
Ooh. That has evolved so much. And I remember I've been speaking to the dancers recently and kind of charging them to be more adamant and intentional about how we describe what we do, because it's past the time of saying, oh, you know, I have no words. It's just so beautiful. We use that word over and over again. It's just so beautiful, and it's just so amazing. And I know that we are sincere when we say that. But when we look at times like this, and it's the arts that are keeping people engaged. It's the arts that are keeping people alive. It is the arts. You know what I'm saying? It's the arts that's breathing life into people. So now, when even me, you know, we have a lot of time to think. So now I'm thinking about, what are we moving forward towards? I think there will be a higher realization of the power of art. Not only was it there for entertainment, that's one of the obvious reasons, but we're talking about healing. We're talking about connecting cultures from around the world. We're talking breaking language barriers. We're, in a sense, talking about sustaining certain organizations. It's the things that the artists are out there doing that are actually making a lot of these organizations being able to still survive. So there's so much in there. I think of life. The arts, I feel, are a source of life for our culture. And it comes in different ways, but there are certain emotions, there are certain feelings, there are certain sentiments that go beyond words. And that's when art step in, where you can communicate on a deeper, on a higher, on a broader level than what we use every day as words. The arts go beyond that.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I needed this today. That's exactly what I needed, because it's so true. I mean, the arts it's keeping me alive right now, and bringing so much light into my home, and just reminding me of, just the importance of what we do. So thank you so much for spreading that. And I know this is going to bring inspiration to so many people. So thank you so much.
No, it's been my pleasure. And it's so good to see you. I am so proud of you. I know we always run past each other on the street and all this stuff. I am so proud of who you are, the woman that you are, and all that you are doing. Stay encouraged. Keep doing what you are doing.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Love you so much. Sending you hugs and kisses from home. Stay safe. And I hope you have a beautiful day.
All right. Take care.